The Kiwanis Club of Barrie, KCB, was chartered on August 15, 1922. The club was sponsored by the Toronto Club, which itself was chartered 5 years earlier. The KCB was the first service club within Barrie. The club had 50 charter members as they set about providing assistance to a community in need. The club was so successful that within 2 years of formation, they were sponsoring new Kiwanis clubs in Orillia, Midland, and Owen Sound. Both the Owen Sound and Orillia clubs are still active today. During the Dirty 30s, the Depression years saw a range of Kiwanis activities which included civic affairs focusing on the needs of children. The Barrie Club supplied up to 1,000 quarts of milk, oranges, and cod liver oil, along with shoes and warm clothing for children in need in our community on a monthly basis. During World War II, 1939 to 1945, and in partnership with the RCAF, Kiwanis Barrie sponsored the Air Cadets. The club, along with normal needs for training, contributed to the building of an administrative building. The club established the Active Services Canteen, providing refreshments and catering for troops stationed at Camp Borden. After the war, the building became the Barrie Community House. Although the club's focus continued to be on children in the community, special attention was given to those in greatest need. In 1947, the club joined with the Ontario Society for Crippled Children, known today as the Easter Seal Society. The club became a major supporter of the local branch serving Barrie and Simcoe County. With the growth in the city during the 60s, the Barrie Club sponsored a second club in the area. The Kiwanis Club of Kempenfelt Bay began its service to the community in 1961. Over 50 years ago, in 1971, spearheaded by Kiwani and Ray Marshall, the Kiwanis Club of Barrie and the Barrie Art Club formed the Huronia Festival of Arts and Crafts, on Barrie's waterfront. What started as a dozen or so vendors displaying and selling handmade crafts in the early 70s quickly expanded to include hundreds of arts and crafts vendors, service clubs setting up food booths, antique markets, entertainment venues, and commercial organizations. The Arts and Crafts Festival soon became Kempenfelt. The annual celebration is now one of the largest outdoor events held in Ontario. HFAC is still the focal point of the event and a major fundraiser for our club.
Oh, hello. My name is Brendan Burns, and this is my better half, Leslie Fair. And we have been members of the Kiwanis Club of Barrie for approximately 3 years now. And we're having a wonderful time doing it. And I'll tell you, I'd like to introduce something to you right now in terms of history, dear. And that is, did you know that the original name of Kiwanis came from an American Indian expression, Nunk Kiwanis, which means we trade. But apparently, later on in 1920, the club changed the motto to We Build.
Interesting, Ben. I have a little FYI for you too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. That motto remained until 2025, when members voted to change it to Serving the Children of the World, and that remains the motto today. Who doesn't want to help the children, young and old? I'm very proud to be a Kiwanian.
Absolutely, and so am I. It has been a very life-altering experience for both of us, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And we look forward to many years in the future of being Kiwanians. Thanks very much.
In the 1980s, as Barrie continued to experience a population boom, the need for service organizations in Barrie grew. The club sponsored another Kiwanis club in our city. In 1984, the Golden K Kiwanis Club was chartered with us as their sponsor. During this time period, the Kiwanis Club of Barrie opened its doors, welcoming new growth by becoming more inclusive and encouraging women to bring their energies and skills as members. Along with Kempenfelt, a major initiative of the club was the founding of the first Easter Seals Telethon on our local station CKVR. Easter Seals Toronto, seeing the success of the Barrie Telethon, rolled the telethon throughout Ontario. During the 1980s and 1990s, over $1,500,000 was raised for Easter Seals. The 1980s were truly busy years for the Kiwanis clubs in Barrie. In association with the Golden K and the Ontario Registered Music Teachers Association, the 1984 venture saw the formation of the Barrie Kiwanis Music Festival. The annual festival became one of the largest and most successful music festivals in Ontario, with entries exceeding 2,000 entries for many years.
And I joined Kiwanis because I was looking for an organisation where I could become involved with children and youth. And I searched around and I went to different organizations, and Kiwanis, as soon as I walked into that meeting and met all the people, it was just, I just knew I was at home. It was a wonderful bunch of people. They made me feel at home, very welcome. So that's why I ultimately joined Kiwanis, and they were doing wonderful things with fundraising for children, supporting all sorts of organizations in the community. So I knew that Kiwanis was the place for me. I've been able to be involved in lots of volunteering, different aspects in the organization in Kiwanis, volunteering as a club secretary. I am also going to be the next incoming president, so I'm very excited about that role. And yeah, just very excited about what Kiwanis is doing. They're a great organization. I have met the most wonderful people. I know they're going to be lifelong friends. And I just encourage anyone to come out to a meeting and just see what we're all about. They are just fantastic.
It was during the 1990s that the club purchased Maple Hill from the city of Barrie. Maple Hill was the former residence of A.F. Maurice McLaren. The purchase was instrumental in government funding for the future McLaren Art Gallery and the new Barrie Public Library. The house was sold during the 2014 to 2015 fiscal year, and the club debated as to how the money would be spent. It was agreed that the funds from the sale would form a heritage fund, with the investment proceeds used for funding community projects or as an emergency fund for times when needs exceeded our regular budget. During the 1990s, again due to the city's rapid growth, the Royal Victoria Hospital undertook a major building project at the present Georgian Drive location. Kiwanis Club of Barrie donated a total of $400,000 to the General Building Fund and the Pediatric Trauma Ward. During the past 20 years, the Kiwanis Club of Barrie has continued to be a major contributor to meeting the needs of our local community and the needs of children and families globally. The Kiwanis Club of Barrie has contributed approximately $2 million towards improving our community and the lives of children and their families. A major recipient of funding has been and continues to be the Barrie Food Bank. The club shared the expense of a new van with a local dealership and paid for the purchase and installation of a furnace in the loading bay area. At Christmas time, until the pandemic hit us, the club distributed up to 300 frozen turkeys or turkey/chicken combinations in our stylish Kiwanis reusable carry bags, seen often around the city as people continue to use them for shopping.
I've been a member of the Kiwanis Club of Barrie for about 6 months. Now, previous to that, for a number of years, I've been involved with the club through our back-to-school supply drive program and my connection with Staples. And I really can say that the level of engagement, the level of care, and the number of people involved to support children with supplies that they need was really something that set me aside. So when I was asked to become a member, it was a relatively easy decision to really support and give back to the community. I've been lucky enough over the last couple of months to be involved in a few different programs, awarding a scholarship certificate and money, and really seeing what that will do to these kids and children as they pursue their careers. I really am glad to be a Kiwanian, for the friendship, for the fellowship, and really to give back to the community, and I'm excited to learn. This group of people is outstanding, and everybody has a story, and I can't wait to hear them.
The David Busby Center received $125,000 towards renovations to their new location and supporting the homeless in our city. Those in need of shelter, counseling, and advocacy are served by the center. Annually, we make over 2,200 ham and cheese sandwiches and cookie packages for distribution through the center's outreach van. That's over 25,000 sandwiches in the past 8 years. The Women's and Children's Crisis Shelter, also one of our Centennial Project Award recipients, received an additional funding commitment of $98,000 for expanded facilities as the need grows in our region. Our commitment was met earlier than expected. The Ymca is relocating to a new building. The Y serves many people in our community through its many services. When the building process begins, they will receive our commitment of $100,000 within a 5-year period.
I've been with the Barrie Kiwanis Club for 41 years. In my opinion, there are 3 different routes that you can take. You can do service, directly involved with the children that we look after throughout Simcoe County. You can do fundraising. There's 2 ways: hard sells, selling tickets to individuals, soft sells, things like we're just running a food booth at Kempenfelt, where people come to you with their money, which is an excellent way. And the other is administration, which is what I've been involved with throughout my 40 years. I've been a past district trustee, and I'm presently the bylaw and policy chair for Kiwanis District DC&C, which covers 19 countries, including all of those lovely Caribbean countries, as well as Eastern Canada. If you want to join this club, it is an absolutely awesome club. The people, the service, it's great. Join now.
We have, over the past 20 years, partnered with the City of Barrie on a number of projects to benefit our citizens. For our 85th club anniversary, we contributed a gazebo near the South Shore Center in Centennial Park. This continues to be used by picnickers and entertainers during the summer months. We also saved the downtown gazebo from being torn down by making a contribution to the city. Our major contribution commitment was $170,000 towards the construction of Meridian Place as a focal point for city activities ranging from Remembrance Day services at the Cenotaph to weekly movies on a huge screen. Several years ago, we partnered with the Staples South store in Barrie to provide school supplies to classroom teachers and schools in general. This project has grown to now involve both the North and South Staples stores in Barrie, with additional stores in Midland and Alliston this fall. The annual distribution of school supplies and Staples cards averages approximately $40,000 a year. In 1994, Kiwanis Club began volunteering at the Bingo Hall in Barrie, now called Delta Bingo. This partnership over the years continues today, 28 years later, and has helped us support numerous groups financially.
I joined the club kind of on a whim. A friend had asked me if I wanted to come, and I thought, oh, whatever. And so for the first year, it was kind of like, yeah, this is okay. We had meetings or whatever. But what I found is once I started putting more of myself into the club, I started to get a lot more out. I went to a couple of conventions. One was in Aruba, which was fabulous. And I learned a lot of things about how Kiwanis works and what they can do for the community. So as I became more involved, I was asked to do more, of course. So I became a member of the board, and then the following year I became the president of our club. And I found that doing that really helped me do a lot more and help a lot more. So once I got going on the helping, that kind of got ingrained in me that that's something I really wanted to do. So recently we started a program flying Ukrainians into Canada, and that's been very exciting. So we've met with them, I've booked their flights, and they are so appreciative. And it just makes you realize that a little bit of help for some people can make a huge difference. And I just think that anybody who's looking at trying to do something with their lives that's not all about me and just to help other people, think about the Kiwanis, or even just assist us by hooking onto the link that would be provided later for donations to our freedom flights from Ukraine.
Being part of the greater national and global Kiwanis family, the Kiwanis Club of Barrie has extended their assistance beyond our community. We brought hope and assistance to families in Canada and the Caribbean through a partnership with the Kiwanis Foundation of Canada for disaster relief projects. As a district leader, we most recently provided assistance and aid to hurricane-torn Jamaica and Dominica and the Bahamas. Emergency assistance was provided to the St. Vincent volcano disaster and closer to home during the flooding of Abbotsford in British Columbia. These projects through the Kiwanis Foundation of Canada raised over $650,000 for families in immediate need. Internationally, working with UNICEF, the Kiwanis International Worldwide Service Project, and the Eliminate Project, set out to eliminate the swift and unbelievably painfully fatal disease of maternal and neonatal tetanus. Kiwanis International raised over $100 million for the elimination of this disease in mothers and newborns. The Barrie Kiwanis Club was presented with a Diamond Award for being one of 50 top fundraising clubs out of 8,500 clubs worldwide.
I joined Kiwanis in 1980, and I joined primarily because of the people, like-minded individuals trying to help children and to give service to the community. It's a great place to belong, and I've enjoyed it for these past 40-some years.
Our vibrant and diversified club continues to seek ways to improve our world one child and one community at a time. In commemoration of our 100th anniversary, we have set aside $100,000 to be shared equally among 3 organizations we believe will improve the lives of others both locally and internationally. $33,333 will be given to Empower Simcoe, the Women and Children's Shelter of Barrie, and Freedom Flights from Ukraine. These major efforts have not diminished our commitment to smaller organizations providing services to hundreds of children each year. There are many organizations where donations of $500 to $2,500 can develop and carry out programs that help children with learning opportunities, sports teams, cultural events and programs, clothing, healthy food and social events that would not happen without our help. Our energetic and dedicated members and volunteers have enabled us to raise funds. Not only do we support our community from our financial base, but our volunteer hours, through a variety of opportunities, further enhance the lives of thousands of people in Barrie as we actively contribute our time and skills to those organizations we support.